Dear, I'm so tired. You let me know everything's alright. I hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing.
Hey my name is Steve Witz. We got Obi on the beat. Go by the name of Hoodie. That's Hoodie.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Jed's Adventures. Now today is a very special one because we are going to be reviewing... What the fuck? We're gonna be reviewing another episode of... God damn it, Jimmy! Wonder Woman! Today we're going to be reviewing the Wonder Woman trailer. Right?
I love Wonder Woman. I'm really into Wonder Woman. Not as much as you think I am, but I've been reading the comics. Really good series so far. Wait, I want to watch the preview.
Fucking watch it.
You're a man.
Yeah. Does that look like one?
Well, hey there.
It's pretty good.
You have been my greatest love.
It's like Shades of God of War.
Yeah. I like that
Be
style.
careful, Diana. I do not deserve you.
No, this.
Did you bring a sword to a party? What was wrong with that bitch face?
Have you never met a man before? But what about your father?
I had no father. I was brought to life by Zeus.
Who?
Well, that's neat.
How do I top that?
I was in the AV club.
Some nice
Oh
action
shit.
scenes.
They got Amazons. There's
Amazonians.
Amazonians. Oh shit. Oh my god, look at that lasso.
What I do is not up to you.
Super slow-mo. Just kicking ass. That's exactly it.
Candy. I'm Steve Trevor's secretary.
What is a secretary?
I go where he tells me to go and I do what he tells me to do.
Well, where I'm from, that's called slavery.
I really like her.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Ladies, after you.
I do. I like her.
Did they use that same song in BVS?
Yeah, they did. That was Wonder Woman's intro music.
Same one, isn't it?
Yeah. Whenever she came in and she blocked that big nuclear explosion, saving Batman's life, with the shield. It looks like her shield now and her shield later are different, and I'm not sure how they're gonna explain that. Maybe they build her a new shield. Maybe her shield breaks in this one, or that's like her.
Because she does
Official princess
the
shield.
shield is one of the things that I noticed too, because it does look different in BVS. It was more of an action-y trailer. It didn't it gave you stuff, but it didn't give you too much. It was obviously we're far from the release, but I mean 2017. We're gonna get more trailers, obviously. But I think it was more of an introduction than how much action. I don't know. There might be a lot of action in the movie. It seems like there's going to be a lot of action.
Yeah, it seems to be set in World War One, which is not really anything that anyone has ever really done before, because World War Two seems to take all the popularity, even though World War One was especially egregious with all the nerve gas and stuff, and so maybe they'll explore a bit of that. But so far, the trench warfare really got under my skin. You see her with her red shiny boots. She looks awesome. First of all, the amount of color that they were able to put into
Didn't
there.
they show a picture of her, a black and white picture in Justice League?
Yeah, they did.
Was that then?
That was then.
It was then.
So that picture, in if you watch Justice League, which you should have, if you're watching this, spoilers. Anyways, if you watch Justice League, you'll know that eventually Batman finds information that Lex Luthor has on all the Justice League characters, namely a picture that Wonder Woman was looking for.
You mean BVS? If
What
you
did I
watch
say?
BVS,
What did I say?
you said if you watch Justice League.
Did I say Justice
You
League?
said Justice League.
Ooh.
We're excited for the movie.
We're excited.
If you watch BVS, in BVS, there's a part of the movie where it has old files of Wonder Woman, or it's a file on Wonder Woman, and in the file it contains a picture of her. It seems like the same era.
Old-timey
Okay.
picture with Steve Trevor,
Steve Trevor.
with the guy who crash lands on seemingly what is her island.
So that's the opening scene. The opening scene is the crash land and Steve Trevor being washed up ashore. In the comic book right now, in Rebirth event, they're kind of hopping between two different storylines. They're hopping between the current storyline that she's in, which I'll get more into when I'll do reviews on it. But the main thing that I want to hit is the other storyline that they're using. It's called Year One, and what it's doing is it's going back to the origin of Wonder Woman, and they use this exact scene in the comic book. It's obviously the setting is a little bit different because it's comic book and movie, and it's a little bit more debris everywhere, and there's people that are dead. His people that are with him in the plane that crash lands. But it gets me excited because it makes me, as a reader, reading Year One, and especially if you're brand new to this, and even if you decide now to go and pick up the new Wonder Woman run, the Rebirth, I feel like you'd have a good grasp by the time this movie comes out of her origin, and you can critique it yourself. So that's what makes me excited. I don't know if it has any relation at all. At this point, it could have no relation. They can go in two opposite directions. But I get excited just because it might be the same.
And even if it wasn't the same, they probably use a lot of those scenes to just like if you're a comic book reader, they give you certain things.
Those little
winks.
This is in the comic book, but we're gonna disappoint you like every other movie by not
Just
doing
gonna hint at it.
everything
Remember that thing that happened in the comic that we're not gonna talk about?
at all.
That's what that was. And so they're probably, when they opened up, I'm wondering what the hell the large gathering of people was. So after she saves him, they cut to this large scene, which it looks like maybe all the people that are on that island, all the Amazonian warriors,
The Amazonians.
all the Amazon women, which was awesome. I want to know more. I don't know enough, and I feel like this is a really interesting take on her origin. I feel like it's something that we really haven't seen before, almost God of War-esque. If you've ever played the video game God of War,
It has that feel.
It seems to touch on that type of ancient
Feel
royalty type of Greek
even
god.
even what they're
feel.
wearing reminds me kind of like you said, the God of War kind of feel.
Harkens back to like a Trojan warrior type of thing where they have body armor and.
Another reason why I got excited is because some of the scenes that they use for the island where they're at, where all the Amazonians are, it kind of looks like the comic book. Again, I could be getting way in over my head and just getting way overexcited.
Probably are.
Obviously, they have to reference to the comics to model things after. You know, their setting and, you know, kind of try and replicate it. But I'm probably am getting too excited. But it looks good. It looks good. The comic looked good. The comic looks good even now. And what they're doing so far, it looks like a nice setup. Look, it's a nice feel. It's a nice feel. So we open up with scenes as far as her walking with Steve Trevor, and it seems like, and I mean, her origin has a lot to do with him and the relationship that they build, and so I imagine that the movie's going to revolve around them.
So him crashing is going to be the impotence for her
up.
stepping out of the world, out of her Amazonian island world, where maybe they've never even heard of planes and stuff. She obviously had never heard of a secretary, especially not a.
I heard Zeus is her father, though.
1890, yeah. Zeus is her father.
You top that.
As much as you can be. I don't know.
Like I imagine that's one of their dates. How do you top that on a date?
So to come meet my dad.
By the way, Zeus is my dad. I feel like as a guy, I'd be like, I'm done.
No, for real? Okay. I mean, already she, once he might have learned of her, there already must have been a very weird dynamic for him in the first place to immediately not be the stronger one in a time where it was the general consensus among a lot of people that women were the weaker sex.
And you kind of
a lot of stuff, a lot of old world ideas about women and their place in the world. You
get a hint of that in the ending scene too,
which we'll get to.
And
so it seems like he takes her into his world, and immediately she's thrust into having to fight. And again, this trailer was kind of bitey. We really can't piece too well together what the story might be. All we know for sure is that she meets him and is then thrust into a battle in World War I. And that's about it. She's at parties. She has
a
doing
sword down her dress,
socio-political dance,
which is super.
Is that a sword on your back, madam?
This is a formal. No one has a sword.
This is my battle attire.
This is how.
I won't go anywhere.
You think she is like this is formal to me? Like this is how we roll where I'm from?
Maybe.
No. Obviously, she has the sword for some reason. Maybe it's a scene where she knows something's gonna go down. It didn't give us much to work off of. It just teased us a lot, and it teased us with another character, which I say I like Wonder Woman because I'm currently in the Rebirth run. Besides the Rebirth, I don't know a massive amount about her. I'm pretty sure someone can, say who the woman that they showed with the half mask. I personally don't know who she is. With the
Phantom of the Opera, but like a reverse Phantom of the Opera, where they didn't show like half of the top face, but now they're showing half of the bottom face.
And because she's not ugly.
And it's cut in.
Because in Phantom of the Opera, he was like,
Was he really?
He was like, yeah. Yeah.
You feel like me?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Don't body shame.
She looks. She looks. Anyway, I don't know who this character is. I'm pretty sure
I have no
those
idea.
people who are really hardcore Wonder Woman fans probably can hint at it or know or can even have a guess. I honestly don't know her enough to have a guess at this. I'm glad we're getting this movie though. I'm glad we're getting an origin story. I would have rather gone with an origin story rather than like a furthering of what we have now. And
I think it almost would have been really hard to have a current Wonder Woman movie without having to involve all the other characters, because it seems like up until BVS she was quiet. She didn't want to fight anymore. Whatever happened after her getting into the world, maybe seeing all of World War One, because I think that's what she talks about in BVS.
You make a good point.
She was very reticent to get back into battle. It took the giant kryptonite monster,
the thing they call Doomsday.
from the Goonies. He looked like from the Goonies.
Doomsday?
Yeah.
I didn't like Doomsday in BVS. I don't know how many people did, but I didn't.
He was
They
okay.
didn't do him justice. If you know anything,
Batman could do him justice.
if you know anything about Superman, you know Doomsday was a lot.
Batman could do him justice.
You know Doomsday looked. Doomsday was supposed to look better than that.
They got the bones. But this isn't Doomsday's video, this is Wonder Woman's video. I won't have a man coming in and dominating this Wonder Woman review.
This is the guy who stopped me from dancing.
I was gonna put in melons, but I guess that would have insulted some people.
That wasn't in the budget.
Wasn't in the budget.
So it seems to be jumping back and forth from where she's at home and to during some action shots, and it's jumping. So the trailer is real up and down. It's not bad. It's just, it's giving us pieces here, pieces there. It's making you question, and it's doing its job. In my opinion, it's doing its job. It leaves me wanting more. It gives us that super cool action shot where she's midair.
Oh my god, she jumps into the air and does a 180. And the guy that was like shooting was like, huh, who put a woman on the field? But in, maybe
as he saw the arrow
Russian
coming towards him.
And then she jumps like 10 feet into the air, and he's like, what the fuck?
And if you notice, she's not
Spins
shooting,
around and
she's not
shoots
shooting
him.
only one arrow.
With an arrow.
She is shooting multiple arrows at the same time.
God damn. She's so cool.
Damn, Wonder Woman, you scary. Shooting 3 arrows like that. She does it in the comic book.
She does?
That's what makes
Multiple
me.
arrows?
That's why I'm so excited. There's a part in the comic book, if you've read it and you remember, there's a scene where another Amazonian is trying to get her to be serious in archery practice, and she just kind of chuckles and shoots 3 in 3 different rings.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I have
I
a
bet you
lot
that
of
teacher must have been fucking mad. Well, what the fuck? Why am I even teaching you?
I have a lot of reasons to be excited for it, but I in the back of my head, I don't want to get my hopes too high because of scenes like that. They show, but then again, it's just her shooting 3 arrows. Technically, that could be in any scene.
That's very true. I mean, she's obviously a warrior, so she's been trained to use weapons very proficiently. And not only is she a warrior, there are plenty of Amazonian women warriors in this Paradise Island where she comes from. But she's not only is she royalty, she's essentially a demigod. Part human, part from Zeus.
Part Zeus. Yeah.
So we're gonna get a very interesting dynamic introduced where we're going to start touching on Greek gods and Greek mythology, which is going to be really cool. Hopefully, this World War One involves, and that they're going to involve Ares, the god of war, even if it's only by mentioning his name, because it's World War One. This is the height of human conflict, the biggest conflict on a scale that humans have ever seen so far. We have multiple countries fighting, piles and piles of dead bodies everywhere. And if you're thinking about this from a mythological standpoint, Ares must be eating this shit up. He's got a little bucket of popcorn, and he's like, "Yes, oh,
this is what I'm for." So Greek mythology is going to be mixed in with the DC universe, and it's like that in the comic book too, and it's like that even in Marvel. In the Marvel universe, Hercules is a superhero in Marvel. And he's actually in Civil War II right now. He has his own run right now, a mini run for Civil War II. It's called Gods of War. If you haven't checked it out, it's okay. If you just, for the mere fact to pick it up, just to have it in your collection.
Just to watch Hercules do some shit.
Yeah, he's best friends with Totally Awesome Hulk, which is weird. I don't.
You don't like Totally Awesome Hulk. He's got a faux hawk.
I'm totally against Totally Awesome Hulk.
Totally
against Totally Awesome Hulk.
But the Amazonian women, the other warriors that we see in the few scenes after that arrow shot, really excited about the Amazonian warriors that they're gonna put in, and they look awesome. They got the horses with the armor on them. They're beating the shit out of whatever army they're fighting, and we don't know which army actually it is.
Another thing that I want to bring to point is that they look like they're like kind of the World War II attire.
It's World War One.
World War One. I'm sorry. But it looks they're men. There's men in there. There's men in there. That's the point. It looks like, you know, maybe we tried to, or something tried to invade where they are.
Paradise Island, for whatever reason.
Whatever reason.
Maybe they're looking for Steve Trevor.
There are
to kick some ass.
There are men in there, so you know it's not their own people. You know it's so. And then too, in the comic book, an Amazonian doesn't know what a man looks like. I don't know if they're going to include that here.
Well, they kind of did whenever, in the beginning scene where she's like, "You're a man." Which was kind of weird to have her fawning over a man at the beginning of this female-centric movie. Man.
And she seems to be fascinated with him. And he's fascinated with her, obviously. And that's just part of building that relationship.
Do they serve, do they have is there any precedent for having a romantic interest between the two? Mm-hmm. In the comics?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they develop a relationship for sure.
And you can see that in some of those scenes too, where like they seem to be getting very close and intimate with each other, not like in a very intense way, but like, and then they seem to start liking each other and getting very friendly.
A high point, a thing to mention too, is that in the comic book, and you can see it in the trailer. That's one thing that you do notice. It looks like they are gonna butt heads a little bit. But that's like any relationship, and they're including that now, and it's in the comic book. They butt heads a lot, and you know, she's this Amazonian who has
very strong-willed.
Honestly, no limit to her strength. Almost, I mean, compared to
depends on who's riding her.
Well, compared to where she's diving into, I mean, no man's stronger than her.
No,
as far as you know,
no normal.
In that. Yeah, as far as we know in that era.
You'd have to be some sort of Superman. To go toe to toe.
So why is it got to be a man that's stronger than Wonder Woman?
Because they wrote it in the 50s and people are sexist. That's why. I don't know. I like Wonder Woman.
I'm just bringing up a point. I'm not gonna let it go that you stopped me from dancing. The shield.
You make me feel like a natural woman. It's a little pitchy. Her shield. Very old world type stuff. I'm very excited about it. Don't look at me like that. Aretha Franklin is amazing.
Is a goddess? She's not an Amazonian though.
No.
The shield, yeah. Then we touched on that in the beginning. The shield in BVS looks different. You know, obviously it shows some kind of maybe through time she got a better shield, or maybe it means something.
Maybe by the end of this, she gets the shield that she has in BVS. Maybe she's upgraded to corporal or something. I don't know how they do it.
That lasso of truth, though. Spoiler.
The lasso compels you.
Real quick.
Tell the truth on how you thought about the lasso.
If you haven't read Wonder Woman, if you're gonna read Wonder Woman, I'm not gonna give away too much. I said that they're doing year one. That's not giving away too much. It's more of an origin thing. There's a lot more detail they put in the comic, but she's having a struggle to finding herself. She figures out that someone's been lying to her, and she doesn't know, which is why they're going back to her origin in the run right now. She's trying to find who she really is. If you read the end of Justice League, you know that she finds out that she has a brother.
Yes.
She has a brother that she didn't know about up until recently. So the point that I'm getting to is there's a scene in one of the first Rebirth issues of Wonder Woman where she uses the lasso on herself,
Really?
which is crazy.
That's weird.
She uses the lasso on herself, and it just it does this cool little drawing where it's like glass shattering and all the different parts of her life that she's been through, and it was a nice little scene by scene.
But the way she uses it here, didn't she like wrap a dude up and toss a bitch?
Yeah, she
Damn.
did. Glowing and all.
All I keep thinking about is as she's kicking all these men's asses, that their like mind is blown. First of all, that there's a human-like being that could do any of this, and second, that it's a woman.
I imagine if any one of them survived, like later on, it's like, you know, their wife or whatever with grandchildren around them. It's like, hey honey, tell them that Wonder Woman story you have.
Shut up. No, you don't want to tell him? You don't want to tell him what happened with Wonder Woman?
They're gonna be my
He got beat by a woman. I don't know why I chose that. But the lasso looks like it glows really cool. Like when she uses it, it seems to light up and it's very vibrant. And I think that's it really sets apart the picture in all the other scenes, because all the other troopers are wearing dark clothes, the setting's dark, the clouds are overhead,
for sure
someone's really sad in the corner. It's just kind of gloomy, and then she's stepping through with all this color and this vibrance and power, and the rope, it glows really bright yellow, like a neon type of yellow.
Put some thought into it.
It looks good. Her outfit looks really, really good.
Her outfit, her armor.
I still feel like she should have some like thigh shield.
She's never had any protection for her thigh.
I feel like she should.
Never.
I feel like
Never has.
a warrior would have some armor.
When was Wonder Woman written?
In the 40s or 50s.
They're not gonna put any armor on.
They're not gonna put any armor.
But the overall,
And that was actually most of the trailer. Most of the trailer seemed to be going through her fighting, and a lot of it was kind of trying to establish just how badass of a character that she was, and it's establishing that not only is she a badass, but there's going to be some dynamic between her and Steve Trevor where she's getting involved in politics. She's getting involved in this world that was set in a time that we pretty much aren't even aware of anymore.
she's walking into random settings, causing a ruckus, starting fights. Why is she starting fights? I want to know.
But if you want beef, she'll bring the ruckus. Wonder Woman
Clan.
ain't nothing to fuck with.
We have some more action scenes. It's most
Tying
of
up
this
bitches, tossing them.
most of this preview is action. We do also see some action scenes of Steve Trevor. It looks like they're gonna give him his own little story too.
He'll be. I mean, he seems like he was actively engaged in fighting the war. I think that's how he gets there in the first place, right?
Yes.
That's how he finds himself on the island. His plane crashes.
He's a fighter pilot.
Somehow he survives.
He's a Navy. Don't shoot me for this if I remember correctly.
Don't worry, there's no one there to shoot you.
Navy fighter pilot.
Mhm.
I think is his role.
All four
That's
of you.
That's his thing. Navy fighter. Yeah. So which is why you see him in the plane shooting and so he has experience in battle, is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
So he should have some good action scenes also, and it's really cool because he's a human. He's no one, and you're gonna get that human aspect of it. Kind of like now I wouldn't say Jason Bourne type feel, but some action from a regular human being
Fighting the war.
fighting the war.
And then through it, Wonder Woman's tearing through. One of the best shots I thought I saw. How? But how?
It looked amazing. It looked good.
So awesome.
It looked good. You can tell even she was putting effort in it.
Yeah.
You know, you could tell when she's getting some she's using to have some of her strength. It was a great shot.
Well, they seem like, I think it's like a high caliber bullet that they're shooting at her damn shield, and she's got this little, like, I mean, it's not a large diameter on the shield. So and she's got to crouch low, and she's pushing through.
And then they pan out with it, and it just looks good.
And you can see, you know, the entire land that she's in, and they're really getting the scope of just how ugly World War I was for a lot of people, especially in the trench warfare parts. It was dark, you know. There was all the bombings that ruined the land, made it look really. Really disgusting. It almost looks like another place, like it's alien, like you fried everything. All the trees are burnt, and there's smoke in the air, and everything smells like dead bodies. And I hope that that's the type of emotional weight that they're going to bring.
Yes.
What happened during World War I after she got done swinging swinging bitches in the air with her rope, and tossing tanks and blocking bullets? What happened between the characters, between her and Steve Trevor, or between her and maybe the higher ups that she meets, the type of world that she's introduced to in this World War I
I hope
era?
they give it that feel. I hope they give it that same feel, like if it was to be back in that era. You know, like you said, there was a lot of crazy, depressing shit going on around that era. And I hope that they install that feeling in the movie. I think it'd make it just that much better. And they're DC. DC has always been known, even in their comics, to go dark like this. I hope they run with it. I hope they run, and same thing for the Justice League. I hope they do that to that. I hope it's not too funny. I hope Bruce Wayne isn't too funny.
But you know what? It also looks like there was some levity. It looks like Wonder Woman knows how to crack a joke or two. She's aware of some comedic timing, which is strange. I mean, it gives you a sense of how Gal Gadot was learning how to play this character, because for the longest time, I mean, she was only in Fast and Furious 1, 6, and 7 as Giselle, and I didn't even really watch the franchises that much. Basically, I think all her character amounted to was, I'm pretty girl number 7, and I can drive the car fast too. And that's maybe about it.
She didn't have much action in it. It wasn't...
Right, and so she's got maybe a larger role to sink her teeth into.
Major role.
Much deeper. She's leading her own movie, and she looks beautiful. And before that, she was a model, so people were really scared about her acting ability. And, you know, we still haven't seen enough. This was mostly just to show you how badass the character is going to be. And maybe if it turns out that she's not that good, that the director found a way to shoot around her weaknesses, because maybe she can play strong really well, but she's got a hard time playing sad, and so they need to figure out ways to get around that in terms of getting through the narrative.
I like that they got a supermodel as Wonder Woman, and she's always been they've always drawn her as this real eloquent, beautiful person. I mean, she's a princess. You know, she has to be. I don't think they could have picked anyone better. I don't know too many supermodels' names, but I mean,
well, I mean,
if you're gonna
make a movie, you pick an actress, not a supermodel.
Yeah,
that's why people had problems with it.
Yeah,
but I mean, I get what you're saying. You know, they want someone who's going to fit the beauty aspect just as much as they fit the character aspect. And obviously she tested against a bunch of other women for this role. So whatever she did in that acting room proved to the casting directors that, hey, I'm your Wonder Woman and I can do this probably better, and I fit the role better than anyone else that you've interviewed today.
To be honest with you, I don't think anyone in Hollywood now that's actively acting or actressing, whatever you want to call it. Actressing is that? I'm making up words each video.
Acting. We got Buffle.
That's Buffle.
Actressing.
That's it. It counts at 2. I'll start my own dictionary.
We're only a third video in, and you're making shit up. Jed's Adventures.
Point being, I don't see anyone who could have fit in this role. that's currently out there. Nothing against anyone's skills. I just don't see anyone who could have fit this role. I think they almost needed to bring in someone new. Yes, she was in Fast and the Furious, but you don't really know her.
She's not even relatively well known in the Fast and Furious realm.
Exactly.
I mean,
I didn't know who she was when they dropped the name, and I had to look her up, and I was like, oh shit, she's in Fast and the Furious? That was my exact reaction.
She's done movies.
I was like, oh, okay. So we get more action scenes. I love the scene where they're breaking that whatever wooden object.
I think
on
it's
her.
a gun.
Is it a gun? It looked like a wooden pole.
It's his rifle or something.
Anyway, she takes
Doesn't
it.
work.
She takes it. Just takes it like there's like nothing.
Oh, was this a pillow fight? Wonder Woman says backhand.
Exactly.
Wonder Woman says front hand. Wonder Woman's wearing heels. Everything she did in heels. She's fighting a war in heels. Which, if you've ever put on heels, and I did one time just to see what it was like, don't
Respect.
ask. Yeah, it's hard.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever tried to walk around in heels?
I've never tried myself, but it
Shit's hard.
looks like it.
Yeah.
And then we end with the beautiful Wonder Woman logo. I like it. I like it. It looks crisp. It's simple. Again, it's simple. Nothing too over dramatic, over detailed. Just like the one they're going with for the Justice League. It looks simple. It looks good. And then they go ahead and add in their Wonder Woman, and it's a nice sleek look.
And the words almost give you the impression that they're shaped a little bit like Greek letters. And I feel like that's going to play a serious undertone in... And I wonder, too, what mythological creatures we might meet on Paradise Island or elsewhere. Maybe, because we don't know the entire story yet. All we know is that somehow she gets involved with World War One.
We got a lot, but we got a little in this preview. And then it of course it ended with the funny scene, which I'm just realizing now, but it seems like it's a trend. Because in Justice League they did that too.
Yeah.
It seems like they're doing trend with this, where they're
funny, haha.
At the end.
We're not that serious. It's a joke to get you giggling at the end, which I think you like this joke better than the you can talk to fish.
Yeah, this one I liked a little more, especially when I thought more into it in the time period they're in.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny, and you got to think from a Wonder Woman perspective. You're coming from somewhere who is nothing but women, who run everything, and there's no such thing as a man, and
their sense of hierarchy is women. The women were in charge, the women were making the decisions. She's a princess where she comes from, and that holds a lot of weight.
And then to come into here, at that time period, that's
gonna make for a really interesting dynamic where she's. You're gonna get a lot of scenes where it's like, but you're a woman, but I can do this.
And you can't.
And it's going to amaze a lot of people, and she's going to plow through and fight all those negative stereotypes that they have about them at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to be a really cool thing to see,
Yeah.
In the same way that, and this speaks to everything that's been going on today, recently with like gun violence and all that stuff. Luke Cage trailer was just released for Netflix, and Luke Cage is an African-American superhero. His skin is impenetrable.
Yeah.
He can block bullets, and I remember watching, someone said, it's about time we got a bulletproof black man, which was a commentary on all the stuff that had been happening, and
that's deep.
Sometimes, yeah.
That's deep.
It gets really deep into it, and it made me want to watch the Luke Cage. If you can, check it out. Check out the trailer. We'll probably do a reaction trailer with that soon. But, so she's going to do, for the same way that we get a bulletproof black man in Luke Cage, we're going to get a strong woman. Finally, a superhero.
It seems like it's going to be a very empowering movie for women. I'm not against it. I mean, I
feel empowered too.
It's a nice change up to the movies we've been getting.
That might be my ponytail. But I feel empowered too.
I've been waiting for a movie like this for a while. Had it been Wonder Woman or any other woman superhero, I would have been in it just the same. I think it's about time that they do a movie.
I'm
like
also
this.
excited for Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers.
Yes.
And how well they're going to touch on that, and maybe what connection they're going to have to the comics and the role she's playing in the Ultimate series right now, which is a really good and interesting series. If you like strange cosmic shit happening, check out the Ultimates and more stuff to that.
And
more
if
stuff
there's
to come
even
for
a
that
possibility if they're going to do a Civil War 2.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's speaking way ahead.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff has to happen, but if there's a Civil War 2 movie, you're going to want to know about Carol Danvers.
Yeah.
She has a big deal to do. It's basically Carol against Tony in Civil War 2. If you haven't picked up the run or want to know more, we'll do a video on Civil War 2. I think it needs a video. A lot's going on. The run isn't over yet. It's a 7-part series. I think they're on 4.
For what?
What issue are they on right now?
The Ultimates?
No. Civil War 2.
Civil War 2. They're on issue 4 or
Four.
5? 4 or 5. 4. I think 4 just came out.
4 just came out.
And 5 is going to come out.
So you still have time to pick up some second printings. If you can get your hand on a first printing, go for it. It's a good story.
Just pick up one.
Just pick up one.
Doesn't matter if it's a variant or not a variant, unless you're a stickler.
I like the original cover. Pick up the story if you're interested in Civil War 2 or anything Marvel. We're jumping from DC to Marvel, but it's a good story nonetheless.
It's all good. We love both.
With that being
Superheroes,
said, guys,
superheroes.
we're gonna go ahead and
Very excited. Wonder Woman looks badass. I'm interested to see the next trailer, how much they're going to talk about her character. You know, hopefully it's not this...
too much action.
Yeah.
We got the action, we loved it, but now we're looking for something deeper.
Right.
So hopefully the second trailer is going to be something like that. They'll give us that. With that being said, guys, we'll go ahead and end it on this point. If you haven't seen any of our other videos, our Justice League video...
All two of them
right now. Our Justice League video released a couple nights ago. If you want to see it, right there is a link.
Over there?
Right there.
Or over there?
No, right here.
Okay, right there.
Right now. Go ahead and view it. We also did a review on The Killing Joke, Batman The Killing Joke, if you want to check that out too. Like, subscribe,
comment. And we got into this last time. Troll minorly.
Hate us, love us,
hate watch us.
Come back though. We love you. No, really, we've been enjoying doing this.
So far, so good.
We're gonna have another video up soon. We're trying to spit these out. Be expecting a Detective Comics, Action Comics video.
Detective Comics, Action Comics. We're gonna get into it all. All the comic book stuff. Ever since, ever since Rebirth.
Yeah, we're gonna cover more of the Rebirth.
We're gonna cover a lot of the Rebirth timeline that's been going on.
So stay tuned, guys.
As well as stuff in Marvels, like the Ultimates and the all new, all different Avengers.
And we're gonna have two perspectives on that. Obviously, there's some runs that I have that he doesn't, and he has that I don't. So that'll be fresh for one of us on some of these. Until next time, guys. We'll see y'all later.
Jets Adventures.
Everybody get on the ground.